I think the latest season of Family Guy is riling Brian up for a redemption arc, and I think they're going to use his relationship with Meg to do it.
So, Meg, how was school?
Family Guy doesn't allow for full evolution. It allows you to have moments of humanity where you as the audience feel like the character is going through growth, but they do it in this way so that if they want to in the next episode snap back to whatever comedic timing needs, it will do that.
Brian's the new Meg.
Yeah, you're the new me.
Shut up, Meg.
I'm gonna make this as quick as possible because this doesn't need to be a 20-minute video. So let's start with the problem. They messed up early days when they made an episode where Brian and Meg got together.
Hi, honey.
What?
I was thinking about our kiss last night. I never knew how flat and wide your tongue was.
Yeah.
Season 5, episode 8, called Barely Legal. It's about as interesting as it sounds. It's when writers actually just throw anything at the wall to see it stick. Like, oh, what about an episode where Brian and Meg get together? What about an episode where Chris dates his teacher? What about this and that? Like, early days, that's how episodes kind of go. Now, when you're in season 16, you want something more evolved because you've grown up with these characters. You're still seeing them to this day. A lot of us watched Family Guy 10 years ago and are watching it right now. So we are growing alongside these characters. In that episode, Brian essentially takes Meg to prom and he gets really drunk and he kisses her and she kisses him back.
You don't deserve all the crap you get, Meg. You know that?
Thanks, Brian.
The next day he feels really bad about it, but she grows to get obsessed with him.
What's that, Brian? Oh, you were just kidding. Oh, I know you were. I love you too, Brian. And you love me.
To the point where she kidnaps him, she feeds him her hair.
There's some apples and some cinnamon and my hair. My hair is in the pie, Brian. And now it's inside of you. Part of me is inside of you, Brian.
She says, you are going to be in a relationship with me no matter what. It turns into this whole thing. And in the end, Quagmire has to pull out a speech to convince Meg that no, you've got your whole life ahead of you. You don't need to settle for this dude. It's fine. It's not the best episode. It's not really fun. You don't really learn a lot from it. It's just, I'm gonna say, kind of like a filler episode. It's not something that you want to hold on to. It's something you just want to bury under the rug of, ugh, remember when that happened? It's one of those episodes. And I think it also doesn't bring out the best in any of the characters. I don't think you get to see any depth from Brian, which you could have in the earlier seasons, because he was meant to be super smart in the early seasons. You see Meg as the worst over-the-top stereotype of what she could be as a teenage girl. This girl is super bullied, but no, she actually is the weird, creepy girl. And then you've got it's just low-hanging fruit. I think the first time they corrected this take that they had gone, so they realized, okay, people did not respond to this kind of relationship with Brian and Meg, and understandably so. What is the next thing we can do for this relationship? Which brings us to season 8, episode 11, Dial Meg for Murder. Meg lands herself in trouble, goes to jail, comes out hardened criminal, and she is just on a rampage against anyone who has ever treated her badly.
Who's the biggest, toughest guy in this house?
Well, I don't like to toot my own horn, but I believe I hold the distinction of...
Her bullies, her father, anyone who's ever really been not that nice to her. And there's also a whole separate thing we can go down between Meg and Peter's relationship, but that's another video. Meg gets into Brian's car and tells Brian, drive her to the pharmacy. She's in the pharmacy and she's trying to rob it. And Brian says, Meg, you don't need to do this. You shouldn't do this. And Meg says, why shouldn't I do this? No one cares about me. I'm better off being in jail. I'm better off not being in this life and this family and anything. That's a much better life for me. No one actually cares about me. And then Brian pulls out a trump card and says, wait, no, let me show you. I do care about you.
And in the face of every adolescent challenge, she looks at the world through hopeful eyes and maintains an uncommon resilience that can only be admired. In this sense, Meg Griffin is not the typical American girl. She is far sweeter and kinder than that.
He actually wrote something incredibly sweet for Meg, and he published it, and he put it out there saying that, Meg is an insightful girl. She's sweet, she's kind, she's everything. She is so resilient, so hopeful. It was such a sweet, tender moment between them that it actually snapped her out of it.
That is so nice, Brian. Did you mean all that?
Of course I did. Give me the gun, Meg.
Thanks for reminding me who I really am.
I think this became a bit of a turning point, which is, okay, Meg and Brian have this relationship that is really unspoken. And when I say unspoken, I mean it took them 3 seasons to figure this out. And then from what, this was like season 8 to what now, season 16 is when we're seeing it again. Where they're like, oh yeah, Meg and Brian. I'm so dumb. I just realized. I've been saying there's 16 seasons of Family Guy. I was thinking about Bob's Burgers. There's 16 seasons of Bob's Burgers. There are 24 seasons of Family Guy. Which means from season 5, then to season 8, and then from season 8 to season 24 is when they're just like, oh yeah, Meg and Brian, which I think is brilliant. I think writers should constantly be looking at all of the major players in their TV shows and constantly keep looking at the dynamics between them. Who haven't we paired together? Who should be paired? Who's actually funny? Who are people responsive to? Who are people not responsive to? And I think these are really important because that keeps the show sort of fresh. And I think it also gives, it's like you're paying homage to certain characters, and also you're taking your audience into consideration because your audience sees themselves in certain parts and different people. So you don't want to keep reliving the same dynamics over and over and over. You want to explore these relationships a lot more. So here we are, season 24, episode 7, Scent of a Woman. And the premise of that episode is that Brian ends up sniffing Meg's bra through nefarious means, but ends up sniffing her bra and detecting the fact that she has cancer, or the bra has cancer on it. So they go to the doctor together. So he goes with her to the doctor, and eventually they come to the conclusion of if she is going to die, they want to go on some really nice road trip together, which they do. On this road trip, they figure out that, Meg gets a call and she finds out that she doesn't have cancer. And she doesn't tell Brian that she doesn't have cancer. Eventually, Brian finds out that she doesn't have cancer and gets really mad at her for lying to him.
I was super worried, and I thought you were going to die, and you took advantage of me. Why would you do that?
I guess I just saw a chance to live out one of my dreams and realized it might never happen again.
I can't believe how selfish that is.
And keeping them on the trip for as long as they had, which led to a really, really heartfelt conversation between the two of them, which I think resonated with a lot of people.
Brian, when I said one of my dreams, I wasn't talking about eating at Chaz Inferno's. I was talking about, for the first time ever, actually having real fun with a family member who wasn't mocking me or farting in my face or telling me I'm ugly.
I think Brian is the only character that really does respect Meg consistently and shows her compassion consistently. Yes, there are jokes and things that happen, but I think in these moments of honesty, he really does have huge compassion for her. He really does show up for her. And she also brings out the best in him as well. So you don't see the type of Brian that is just awful all the time when they're together. You see a different version of Brian, where I do think that version of Brian is redeemable.
Just wanted this amazing trip we've been having to last a little longer.
You know what? I've had a really good time with you too, Meg.
A show focused on comedy, they managed to find moments of honesty and vulnerability because they don't judge each other as harshly as the outside world is constantly judging them, and how harshly they are also judging themselves. But between the two of them, they find space to hold each other, and they really come across as proper family members who care about each other.
When Dr. Hartman said I might die, all I could think about was spending the rest of my life with someone who really loves and cares about me. And that was you.
Of course, Meg. We're family.
I'm not going to preach to you and say go hug your family members and tell them that you love them, because I'm not that type of person either. It would be good if someone showed up for us all the time, but honestly, we don't even show up all the time for our family members, and it's tough. It's tough nowadays to show up all the time. But it's important to show up when you need to show up. So in this situation where they genuinely thought that Meg was going to die, he showed up and he was there for it. And It sucks that sometimes it takes big life-changing moments to put everything into perspective, but at least it got put into perspective. Just that little window when you see, because Brian, again, he's arrogant, he's narcissistic, he is really encompasses all bad things, I'm sure. And if you think that I am trying to redeem Brian right now, the first video I ever made on this channel was why Quagmire was right about Brian. And you can watch it. That is a long form video. You can go watch that first video. I said what I said, you know. But that doesn't mean that I put characters into a box. It doesn't mean that any character should be put into a box the same way no one should be put into a box. Meg allows for that little bit of insight where someone who gets treated the worst on the show, even someone who gets treated the worst on the show, can see something good about this person. And if she can see something good about him, maybe we can see something good about him. And actually, I've seen a lot of videos and comments online ever since this particular episode came out, and that is exactly what's going on. Where a lot of people do say, A, I hate the way Meg gets treated, and B, I'm at least glad that Brian is there for her. I'm glad someone is there for her. And you know what? Despite all his faults, he shows up more as a father. He shows up more as a friend. He shows up more as a proper figure or pedestal in their life, something to cling on to. You know, he is an important, significant part of the family, and here we see it. Is this Brian's redemption arc? I think it's the closest we're seeing to him being a good person. I think when no one expects anything from you, he drops the act, he drops the performance, and he just shows up as he is. Maybe I will be proven right in season 30. Only time will tell. For now, we're gonna chalk this up to one of Brian's wins. And he's got so much on the other side that's not winning, we can give him this one.
It's really about having the courage to just kind of get inside your own head and just kind of poke around in there, you know, and be like, hey, oh my gosh, what's under here? Hey, what do you call yourself? Oh, wisdom.